Hello, crafty friends. Today I'm going to make another layout using the flexible ruler, and I'm going to address the situation when you have two photos that are 4 by 6, but one is vertical and one is horizontal. Configuring these to look good on a 12 by 12 layout can be a challenge for me anyway. But I'm going to make a design using the flexible ruler, and I think it's going to turn out well for what I'm trying to accomplish. So join me. What we're going to need for this layout will be 3 sheets of paper, a soft paper to be the background, and I call it soft because it can be either a tonal, or in this case I'm using classic cream, and classic cream will be the background. I'm using a medium paper to be part of a border that I'm going to make with the flexible ruler, and this loud paper that's also going to be part of the border that I make with the flexible ruler. Our next step will be to cut our paper. Now our paper is going to go horizontal. Our borders will be horizontal. So you can pick a paper that has a direction, although this is the type that can actually go anywhere. For this layout and what I'm wanting to do, this was the best paper because I wanted this color. But I'm going to cut my first widest piece from my busiest paper at 5 inches. So I'm going to make a 5-inch cut. And I have a 5 by 12 inch piece. This paper came from Radiant Red's collection. Our next cut will be this piece that will go with the red piece. It came from the Grand Times collection, and we're going to cut it at 3 inches. So it will be 3 inches by 12 inches. We will use the back side of this paper just because it is pretty much a solid, and we will use a border maker system or a punch to make a border to cover the seams of our wavy border, and this additional piece will go into the scrap pile. In the previous video, I recommended that the curve displacement not be very tall because of the width of the papers we were working with. But this time, I'm working with a much wider paper, 5 inches. And so I can afford to have a wider displacement of this when I cut it in half, because I won't be getting too close to the edges, which is what we do want to avoid. So this is a 2.5, just shy of 2.5 inches wide, and it's helping me to gauge how wide I want my curves to be when I make my flexible ruler shape. So I like that. I like how it's going to lay on the paper, and let's lay it down and get our pencil out and get ready. Down and just shifting my ruler a little bit. I like my curves right now, so I'm just going to shift my ruler. So the curve I made is to give me a tall piece on the left and a wide piece, tall piece on the right. Okay, so I'm going to start this about where I think I like the shape here. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw my curve. And now I have the curve, the pencil line of where I'm going to cut. As a reminder, you do not have to be perfect with your cut. On the first layout, I cut through 2 layers. This time, I'm only cutting through 1 layer. Now, okay, now we'll take our white eraser and gently remove our pencil marks. You don't have to do that, and you can also ink these edges. So we now have 2 pieces that went like this. They go like this. After we take our pieces, erase the line, we'll have 2 pieces, and one will go like this and one will go like this. The next step is to cut our 3" by 12" piece. Hey, that looks cute by the way it is too, doesn't it? So now I've put our flexible ruler more of a gentle S curve, just up and down the little slope, roughly in the middle. Once again, take our pencil, draw our line, and cut. Okay, so now we're going to take these borders, put them together on our page like this. We're going to make sure there's plenty of room, but notice this nice little wave here between the 2. And this becomes a great place to put our So this becomes a great base to put a 4x6 and a 6x4 because the natural width and height looks like it's just made for this asymmetric look as opposed to two verticals or two horizontals, which also look beautiful. And I think but for me, this looks great. So now let's find something to go over these seams here. Okay, I'm going to use the back side of this paper that I made the smaller 3-inch border with. And I'm going to use the ribbon chain border maker cartridge and make 2 of these beautiful ribbon chain borders. Okay, you can now start adhering our borders. And so this is our base, which are just 2 borders, one wavy at the top with a gentle wave at the bottom, and then the reverse of those 2. And we put our 2 photos here and embellish as you like. Depending on your favorite way to journal, there's also room on these layouts for more photos or for journaling as you prefer. So there's plenty of room for more photos, but the point of this is to put just 2 photos or 2 photos and some journaling on a page. So the goal of this is to show that if you have a portrait and a landscape photo and maybe a place to journal, you can make a beautiful layout that looks balanced. Thank you for watching. See you next time.